officially halfway through 2025. Yay! But let me ask you, are your plans or your family's money plan still on track? Or has it taken a backseat to life, school runs, job stress, rising prices, unexpected emergencies? If you're unsure, if you're feeling overwhelmed, or even a little ashamed, please, I want you to know you are not alone, and this episode is for you. Today, we want to pause and check. We are creating a space where you can revisit those financial goals you made, either yours individually or your family's at the start of the year. See what's working, what's not, and how to realign without shame or pressure. Let's get into it. Hey family, welcome back to Finance4Families podcast, where we talk money in a way that brings families together. I'm your host, Linda Mak, and I like to think of myself as that fire that is igniting those much needed family conversations on finances. Now, today we are talking media resets. And let's start from where we are globally and then we come back home. According to the 2025 Regional Finance Wellbeing Survey, only 32% of families say they're on track with their 2025 financial goals. Imagine 32%. Over 60% admit they haven't reviewed their money plans since January. Are you placing yourself anywhere here? And sadly, 1 in 4 families have dipped into their emergency funds for non-emergency expenses. Let's bring this home now. If you're a parent, you might have had these thoughts. We were supposed to save for school fees, but we are barely keeping up with the bills. We had planned to invest this year, but we haven't even opened an account yet. If you're a young adult and maybe you're saving for something big, moving out, a trip, and your savings account or maybe that savings jar that you have is still half full or maybe even still empty. The 2024 FinAccess Household Survey shows that the share of Kenyans who save fell from 74% in 2021 to 68% in 2024. In terms of overall financial health, the financial health remains very low, with 18.3% of Kenyans financially healthy compared to 17.1% in 2021. So slight improvement in the percentage of Kenyans able to manage their day-to-day and cope with shocks, but still a very significant decline in those who are able to invest in the future. So in as much as this shows us that we are not alone in this, you might be sitting back listening to this and thinking, I'm the only one who's struggling with trying to grow my investments, trying to grow my savings. Just looking at it from a global perspective, then coming and looking at it from a local perspective, we can see there's a lot that needs to be done. Today's episode, as I said, is to give us a space to reset, to look at this mid-year as a chance to be able to reflect and reset. So let me share 2 stories of families that I'm working with. Names changed, of course. The first, we'll call them the Utienos, and the overwhelmed planners in January, very keen. They have a very detailed money plan. We are going to save 10,000 monthly into our sinking fund for schools expenses, and then you're going to be putting aside 5,000 investments because we want by the end of the year to have boosted our investment portfolio. We are going to be having a no spend weekend every month, but by May they had not saved since February. Why? One, lost their job, and with that came depression and anxiety, and they got sick, and now they had medical bills to cater for. And by the time we were looking at their goals and where they were really, really low in terms of even just motivation. So what do? Even their 10-year-old shared one money goal. Now the daughter is helping them to track expenses. Both the children are managing their own expenses, trying to take care of their things so they don't have to get bought every other time. And the parents were able to get back on course when it comes to their investing plans. Moral of both stories is as families, we don't have to be perfect, but we have to provide a space where every member of the family can be present and be flexible enough to accept and chart the way forward together. Now, we are media, we are thinking we need to do a check-in, or for me, I'm encouraging families, individuals to do media check-in. So how do we do a quick family check-in? Yes, you can get out your notebooks and your pens right now. First is we need to revisit our goals. What were your top 3 money goals of 2025? That December, that January, what were the top 3 goals that you set out to achieve? Now that you have your top 3 goals, then now we ask, are they still relevant? Are they still relevant based on your current circumstances? When it comes to your money goals, those are the 2 key questions to ask yourself, and make sure you give honest feedback. Second is, let's look at the numbers. What's your current savings balance? When you started the year, what was your balance carried forward? And now that we are June halfway mark, how much have you been able to top up into that amount? If you have any debt, it's also to look at those numbers. How much debt have you managed to pay off through this period? Has your income or your expenses changed? And how do those numbers look like? So 1, we've looked at our money goals. 2, we've looked at the numbers. 3, we are looking at our emotional health. Have money conversations become tense between me and my partner, us as a family? Then, as well, it is to ask ourselves, is there money guilt or secrecy growing in the family? And here, I would want to tell you now, if you feel that there's some secrecy going on, it could be maybe from your larger family, and these are discussions you would want to have. My recommendation is, in our families, we know there's that one person who you can easily talk to, and there's that other family member who anything you say, or sometimes maybe it's just the way you say it, ticks them off. So you are not the best person to get the best response out of them. So if you have noticed maybe there's some tension, there's some secrecy, look within your family members. There's always that one who, if they were to approach them to talk, it would be easy for them to get information out of it, so that now you can see the best way to help them. Just because maybe you're the one who's noticed the tension, it does not mean you have to be the one to approach them. Look for the best family members who can get the most positive results out of it. Yeah, that would be my recommendation for it. That would be the best way to be able to get to the bottom of the issue. And now you can come together as a family and deal with it. No judgment. Yeah, so we've checked our money goals, we've checked our numbers, and we've checked our emotional health. Now we want to come and ask ourselves, what's that one thing we can improve starting this month? Is it maybe just looking at our numbers again and seeing, okay, maybe some things don't add up, we need to reassign an expense? Do we need to say no more often to either spending or financial requests, and all that? Because the small shifts that we can start making now will compound over time, and we'll have way better results come December. Now, I want to share some very practical tips for families, and this is for each family member. What can each family member come and do? So, for parents, one, I would say when it comes to media reset, pick one goal that you can focus on. You don't have to do everything at once, or now you feel like you have to rush because you've missed some from January to now. It could be maybe just automating those processes so that you don't have to think about it so much. It could be just being more intentional about having conversations about how you're spending money with your partner. Put it in your calendar so that you can sit back and have that discussion. For kids, for the children, let's say up to until age 12, it's looking at, can we set small saving goals, something that we want to be able to do by November as Christmas comes, that toy that we want to buy either for ourselves, or the small gifts that we want to be able to appreciate our siblings with. How much do they cost? And then the parents can help them to set up a savings goal and now start working towards it slowly but surely up until around November. So if you have a piggy bank, make use of them. If you're using the savings app like Chooms, make use of those as well. And as you're progressing, do take time and celebrate the progress. For teenagers, it's start budgeting your allowance or That money that you're making from the small gigs that you're doing here and there could be for your friends, could be could be for your other family members. If you're making any money, budget that money accordingly. Challenge yourself to try and see how much you'll be able to save between now and November. Yeah, and then just track that progress monthly, weekly, and see if you ever get an opportunity to top up, please do. As well, for me, it's to encourage the teenagers out here, talk to your parents about money, ask questions. You might be very surprised how much they are willing to share. And maybe at times it's just they're waiting for you to be able to ask, and that opens up those channels of communications. For the older generation, our grandparents, the extended family, let's always be willing to share. When an opportunity arises and we are together as a family, share a story about how you manage your money. Maybe when you were younger, those even the mistakes that you made, so that the younger generation seated there would be able to pick that up. Offer to help, teach a skill, whether it's budgeting, saving, shopping wisely, things that have worked for you, you can be able to share. Because at the end of the day, money is a family affair, and you're never too young, nor are you too old to be involved and to make a difference. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. You don't need a perfect plan. We just need a willing heart and consistent steps. So let's dump the guilt and keep the lesson. Shame freezes good ideas. Half the year is gone, yes. But this second half is ours to shape. And we can be able to do that by making small, consistent steps. I hope today's episode has provided that space for you to be able to reflect and course correct. It's never too late unless we never do. If you've gotten inspiration and you feel like today's episode has motivated you, feel free to share it with your family, your friends, and people in your network. Because financial inclusion, financial growth, financial healing happens when we talk about it. Until next time, keep building, keep talking, and keep showing up. Families that prepare together prosper together. That's it for today, family. Again, the Finance4Families podcast is here to ignite open, honest conversations about money and investing in our families. So let's get talking and empower each other for a better financial future. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.